Hello, and welcome to Fishing with Joe. I'm your spokesmodel, Lauren. On today's show, you better back the boat up and cast a bait like it's hot. We're in the Crappie honey hole, and the hole is on fire. If you like crappie fishing, then let us light your fire. Fishing with Joe. You gotta love it.
That's the crappie I was looking for. It is. So we may be looking at about an 11-inch crappie, maybe 11 or 12-inch crappie. It's a good one right there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh yeah.
For over 100 years, R&R Bait and Tackle has been selling the best bait in the Buckeye State. Our minnows, crawlers, and craws are guaranteed to catch fish or die trying. We've got your favorite lures at the price you need. We know where the fish are biting. Open 7 days a week, all summer long. Visit R&R and see why we're the best in the Buckeye State.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Fishing with Joe. Today I will be in one of my favorite springtime crappie spots. A spot where I not only catch crappies, but lots of white bass as well. Now, in today's show, I will be using my trusty little spinning rod, and I will be using some brand new 4-pound line. I will be fishing with this new Mono Pro FISHINGSIR line. And today you're going to get a chance to check it out and see how it does. I drifted away. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a white bass. Hey. Now we're fishing for crappie. We're fishing for crappie, and the white bass show up. I was fishing for white bass. Didn't really seem like they were hitting. I know where they're at now, stuck back in those brush piles eating minnows. Alright, there we go. White bass. Oh yeah. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alright. Alright, go home. Thank you. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. Just a little bit of current in the spring at the top of the lake. Fish are on. I'm having fun. Gotta love spring, especially after a long winter. Gotta love spring. Oh yeah. There we go. Ooh, nice white bass. No, it's not. Oh gosh. That's the crappie I was looking for. It is. Oh yeah. And that is a fat crappie, boys and girls. That is a fat one. Gotta love it when they look like that. Nice and plump. That one's kind of long. Real thick across the back. Big head on him. Yeah. Alright, I got pretty big hands. From the top of my hand to the bottom of it is just short of 9 inches. So we may be looking at about an 11-inch crappie, maybe 11 or 12-inch crappie. It's a good one right there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh yeah. All right. Going back home so you can catch him. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I really want you to see the areas that I'm fishing in today's show. So I'm going to do something special. I'm going to take the drone, I'm going to put it in the air, and I'm going to give you an aerial view of what's going on. Now, when I put the drone up, the water levels will be lower, and I specifically like that. That way, you'll not only be able to see the areas where I was fishing, but you'll be able to see what's underneath of a lot of the water in the areas that I was fishing. That way, you'll see exactly what structure was holding those fish.
Weldcraft makes the most reliable, durable boats on the planet. All welded hulls and heavy-duty construction are the reasons why. With over 25 years manufacturing experience, you can't go wrong. That's why it's the boat Joe chooses to reel in the big ones. If you want the hottest boat on the planet, you better quit playing. You better get to Weldcraft. Now let's get back to the fishing and fun.
Okay, in today's show, you'll notice that I am fishing with live minnows. Live minnows from R&R Bait and Tackle, the best in the Buckeye State. Of course, in the early spring, it's hard to beat a live minnow. Now, you will notice that the minnows that I'm using are a little bit larger. I like to fish with a bass minnow for crappies. The reason I like to fish with a bass minnow is I can discourage those smaller crappies from biting, and I can catch the larger ones. Then I have a greater opportunity to be able to catch white bass as well. So I'm using bass minnows from R&R Bait and Tackle, and I'm using small foam slip floats, and I'm fishing approximately 3 feet deep. So in the early spring, that's a pattern that you can use in a lot of different lakes to catch crappies and white bass. Ooh, good one, good one. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, he really got it too. You gotta love it when they just swallow it down. Oh yeah, he did. Got it right in the roof of the mouth. That's a technique that I use when they swallow it. Take your finger and just push it right into the bend of the hook, and when you do, you can pop it out with a lot less trouble. All right, there we go. Going home. Thank you. Back to work, back to work. Just scream crappie. There we go. Gosh, that's a good one. That is a good one right there. Oh yeah. That's what I was after. That is what I was after right there. Can't argue with crappie that look like that. You cannot, you cannot, you cannot. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Goes that minnow. He's gonna get rid of it anyway. I'm gonna help him. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Gotta love it. Got to love it. It's a long one. My hand again, about 8.5 inches. So we may be looking at about a 10.5 inch fish. There we go. One home. All right. See those little crappie ice bobbers? Real popular among crappie fishermen. Use these little haired. Good gosh. Now that is a bass. It's gotta be. White bass. Yeah, it is. White bass. Wasn't suspecting him to be in there. He was way back in that brush pile. Alright. Here we go. Let me get down here so I'll be out of the sun. You can see me a little bit better. Take this white bass off the end of the line. I am crappie fishing. And in the middle of catching crappies, I'm catching white bass too. Alright, there we go. Went home. Thanks for watching today's episode of Fishing with Joe. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a great time catching crappie and white bass. In the early spring, a lot of times crappie and white bass will run up into feeder streams above major reservoirs, so you can catch them together on those spawning runs. Just fall back a little bit farther into the lake below the riffles. You'll still be able to catch some white bass, and then you'll be able to catch lots of crappies as well, just like I did in today's show. And you got to see how the new Mono Pro FISHINGSIR line worked out. Worked out pretty good. So go to FISHINGSIR.com and check out some of their new Mono Pro line. And I am sure that you will like it as well. So thanks for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Remember, fishing with Joe, you have got to love it.